I learned a lot from you. What does it mentally take to be at the level that you're at? And I hate the things that people always say. Like a saying I always say to people is like, the people you idolize have the same problems you do, but just bigger, and you just don't realize their life's actually harder than yours. How do you handle the mental stress of being who you are?
Well, there's actually, if you're in your zone and you're authentically you, there's no stress, right? Because there's no friction between who you want to be and who you are. And I'm not saying that I'm perfectly in that place, but I feel like the more aligned I get with, kind of who I am being and who I aspire to be, the more results kind of flow effortlessly from a place like, I'll call it orders of creation. Like when you start out and you're setting a goal, you start out on a journey to success, right? In the beginning, it's like you don't know what you're capable of. You have an idea that you want to push for this thing, and it takes effort. And so, but as you begin to successfully realize and achieve those goals, then what was previously a goal is now just it's a standard, right? And that you fall back to, it's what you expect, but to continually transcend those just requires this constant expansion of your thinking. And so for me personally, one of the things was getting around, always constantly being.
Austin, don't make me get you on this podcast too.
Yeah, being purposeful about putting myself in environments and in relationships with people, that were 3 or 4 steps ahead of where I want to be. And what unconsciously happens in those relationships, you're like, you know what, like this person's just like me. They're not superhuman. They're not walking on water. Like, and it's not like you're sizing them up, but unconsciously there's something that like, okay, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's been that progressive journey.
Was that them, you going to those people to ask for help or mentorship, or is that more you kind of seeing what they're doing, figuring it out, and kind of doing something and adding your flavor to it?
A little bbit of both. You hear a lot about masterminds, and like probably 27 years ago was one of the first masterminds that I ever paid to be a part of. At the time, it was like 15 grand. I was like, holy crap, like I'm going to spend 15 grand just to go hang out with these guys. And we'd meet 4 times a year, and we did a hot seat, right? Everyone would present their business, what were the challenges they were experiencing, what was their best opportunity that they had taken advantage of that kind of moved the needle in their business or their life. And that formula was pretty game-changing, like, because every 6 months you'd get up in front of a group of your 15 of your peers, kind of open the kimono, and you're like, all right, this is where I'm at. And the more real you could be about that, sharing the greatest opportunities, like, man, we harvested so many things that we implemented and applied. But on your greatest challenge, you'd have, a group of 10 or 12 people that are just rapid fire. Oh, I had that problem. Like, here's how you solve it. So like what you're doing in that environment is you're collapsing timeframes, because what has to happen when you want to go to pursue a goal, right? And if you're here and you want to get there, what stands in the middle is growth. And growth only happens by becoming conscious of your unconscious behavior, and you don't, and growth comes from awareness, and awareness is becoming conscious of your unconscious behavior. And setting those goals, finding what those limits are, seeing the limitations in your own thinking, and then finding people who've transcended it, and it helps you pop to that next level.